Good afternoon. My name is Paul Tanner, and I am the chair of the Board of Commissioners of the North Broward Hospital District. I'd like to state for the record that this meeting has been duly noticed. Today is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. I'm calling this meeting to order at 4:23 p.m. As a courtesy to everyone in attendance, I ask that you please keep your phones and electronic devices, including beepers, and if you have a beeper, I'd like to see on mute to avoid background noise and feedback during the meeting. Ms. Lopez, would you please confirm we have a quorum by roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Stamper? Here. Commissioner Nicole? Here. Commissioner Carnapano?
Here.
Commissioner Berry, absent for the record. Commissioner Page?
Here.
Vice Chair Ainger?
Here.
Chair Tanner?
Here. All right. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 5. If there is anyone here who wishes to address the board with public comments, please come up to the podium and identify yourself for the record. Each person will have 3 minutes to speak, and this will be the only opportunity for public comments during this meeting.
There is a speaker, Mr. Vincent Thrower.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, board members. My name is Vincent Thrower, Pompano Beach, but been in Broward County third generation. I'm here to address a couple things. One, I want to give a shout out and say that we are happy with the services that Broward provides us. In particular, our CEO at North Broward and his chief operating officer, when my grandmother was there, they did excellent service. But everything always needs a partnership. Recently, we had some things in Pompano Beach that came out of City Council that invited competition that may not have been something that our whole community would have wanted, but that shouldn't diminish the relationship that we have with Broward Health for my community, the Northwest community. The Northwest community depends on the CEO and his organization. We appreciate Shane, we appreciate the board, and we want a relationship, but we're not the policymakers. But we are the constituency. And the constituency desires to have a relationship. So we would like to have that relationship and make sure that the services that we depend on the most that come from our network always is in place. Recently, I read the article in the Sun Sentinel and what the Sun Sentinel said about your situation in Tallahassee. Let me be firm about this message. Our community will support Broward Health if it helps our community have a better outcome. But it's not the policymakers and the politicians that help push that agenda. It's the community. So if you all want to push an agenda that will better our system, I would surely recommend that you need to start with you all as board members and everybody else talking to the stakeholders, which is us. We move our politicians. They don't move us. They are elected by us. So therefore, I recommend that we all work together with the CEO and figure out how do we move this agenda together. I may be one today, but as everybody pretty much knows, I can be many tomorrow at the next board meeting to say the same thing. We're here, we want a relationship. My family, my grandmother just turned 85. She depends on these services. So I'm hoping that we can continue this relationship together and build on something. Thank you.
Can I ask you where you went to high school?
Oh, Blanchard, the number one high school in this town.
I grew up in Pompano as well, and went to Ely, Deerfield, and then graduated from Coconut Creek.
Hey man, I like you. If you didn't say Pompano Beach High School, you're okay.
Go there. Thank you. All right. Item 6, approval of the regular board meeting minutes dated January 21st, 2026. I understand the minutes have been reviewed by our board secretary, Commissioner Hayes. Without objection, the minutes are unanimously approved. I see no objection. Thank you. check presentation. Mr. Strum.
This is our favorite part of the evening with our favorite partners. I see Liz Tonkin in the audience, and I'm going to invite her up. She has a wonderful check presentation. She's going to share a little more about her company and her story. She's got her wonderful team with her, and I also saw, where's the rest of the team? They're kind of hidden. Why don't we do that? Why don't we have all of you come to the podium? You should definitely have a few moments to say a few words of the great things that you're doing for us. And then I even saw our very own, our former employee, Ashley Bosser. Ashley, why don't you join them up there? Eileen? So Metro Healthcare Staffing has really been the root of all these great things that have been happening in the last bunch of years. But if you're familiar with the Turkey Trot, these are the folks that put it on. And it has been going on for about 14 years now. It's raised a record amount of money, and they decided they wanted Broward Health to be one of the benefactors. And they have a generous gift to give tonight, but they're going to share a story. They're going to tell, actually, I would love it if you'd introduce each of your members, because all of you have done a lot for the community, you do a lot for your company, but we love you here at Broward Health, and we love that you consider us as one of your benefactors. So thank you for being here, and on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, all of our doctors, physicians, clinicians, and staff, a big, big thank you for having it here.
Thank you so much, Shane. Why don't I have each team member introduce themselves? Okay, say hi, Frank.
Frank Forbes, CFO with Metro.
Heidi Jeffrey, Executive Vice President of the International Department.
Also a nurse.
And Stacey Edwards, Senior Vice President of Talent and Marketing.
All right. I have a few things to say. I won't take long with the timer here, but thank you very much, Shane. So nice to be in front of the board, and we really appreciate this opportunity. It's really very, very special for us. My background, in 1979, I moved from a teeny-weeny town in Rhode Island to Miami to start my nursing career, and that was at Cedars of Lebanon Hospital, which is now University of Miami Health System. So 45 years later, here I am. I've really had an opportunity to grow up in this community and just witness the evolution of what's occurred in healthcare. I mean, it's just been phenomenal when you look at the growth, the resilience, and the tough times. We understand how tough it's been, for health systems, particularly post-COVID. This community shaped me professionally, and that's why we get so passionate and endeared by being able to do something like this for Broward Health. Today, I'm the CEO of Metro Healthcare Staffing. I've been here for 22 years, I've been there, and we're headquartered in Sunrise. We partner with healthcare organizations across the country, but you know what? Broward Health is home for us. This is where we're located, this is where our employees live, and health in this community truly does matter to us. What makes, I think, the partnership so powerful with Broward and so meaningful is that it's the system itself. The long-term, I guess I can say that they play such a vital role as a safety net provider to this community, and we see that. We see what Broward does every day, providing exceptional services, whether it's through trauma care or community-based services. And you know what? They do that, under extreme, I think, significant operational and financial pressures. The momentum that we see with what's been occurring at Broward is meaningful to us. We talk about it. We see the partnership, for instance, with Nicholas Children's, how that's expanding pediatric care services to the community, and that's important. That future thinking of positioning Broward for the community is very, very meaningful to us. We're no strangers to Broward. We've been an organization that has staffed them for probably close to 20 years in some way, shape, or form. And, we get to see firsthand through the people that we provide how dedicated the healthcare professionals and the leadership team really is. So when we started thinking, who do we want to partner with for this year's Turkey Trot? Yes, it was a record year, so we're very excited. Broward Health Foundation was truly a very, very easy choice. When I think about, what it means to us, it isn't really just a check presentation. It's really an investment in our community safety net system and a reflection
of our commitment to stand alongside you. So on behalf of my wonderful MedPro team and Ashley, you know what, we're very, very proud to donate the proceeds of the 2025 Turkey Trot to Broward Health Foundation. We are grateful for your partnership, we're inspired by your leadership, and we're really honored to support Broward Health's mission. So thank you for everything that you do for the people of Broward County.
That's a big deal, right? Always next, but you're a caregiver, you're a leader in the community. I love that the COO gets to hold the check. At least we'll be fighting over depositing that right away. But the truth is that they stepped up. She could select anyone. She knows all the healthcare systems throughout the state of Florida, not just here in Broward County. And they chose Broward Health as a recipient. So it means more to us than you know. We'd love to get a picture with you, our Board of Commissioners, our chiefs, and a few others if you'd come up, our CEOs who participate in work with you. So we're going to go over here to the right corner and take a few pictures.
Big smiles, everyone.
Everything goes to the foundation with the 13 cents.
Yeah, right.
Who knows, maybe I'll be needing a shirt. May not. Great. All right, back to work. Medical staff credentialing reports. Items 8.1 through 8.4, medical staff credentialing reports presented by Dr. Jerry Pope, Medical Officer. Did see him there. Behind that big ass check.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Doctor, before you start, I'm remiss again. I made a note to recognize the chair of the South Broward Hospital District, Elizabeth Justin. Thank you, Madam Chair, for joining us today. We always appreciate your presence. Now, Doctor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm here to present the February 25th, 2026 Credentials Report. The detailed reports from each regional facility and Broward Health Point are in the board portal. Here is a high-level summary System-wide, there were a total of 37 new physician recommendations for appointment and credentialing, and 64 advanced practice professional recommendations for credentialing and privileging. A total of 144 physicians and 20 advanced practice professional reappointments and recredentialing were recommended for approval as submitted. 24 voluntary resignations, all appointments, reappointments, and other credentialing recommendations were reviewed and approved by the C&Q committee and the MEC at each facility in accordance with the medical staff bylaws and the rules and regulations. All recommendations for credentialing and privileging for Broward Health Point were reviewed and approved by the credentialing committee in accordance with the governing policy. MD and OPP report were reviewed at each facility and noted in the reports. The following updated privilege designations were recommended for approval: emergency medicine. There are no further medical staff reports from the regions or from Broward Health Point. This concludes my report. Respectfully request approval of the credential reports from the board in its entirety. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no changes or amendments, do I hear a motion to adopt the medical staff credentialing report as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Motion has been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? No discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries unanimously. Chief Medical Staff updates. Oh. Dr. Castana, I saw you there taking pictures.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Broward Health Coral Springs is pleased to announce that we had the addition of a third CT scanner with CT angiogram capabilities and the installation of a new MRI, which would expand our advanced imaging access and strengthen our diagnostic services for our community. Our medical staff hosted last week a Mardi Gras celebration that was very well attended. We wanted to thank very much Commissioner Anger for spending the evening dancing the night away with us. Thank you very much. And tomorrow we will be honoring Dr. Gershwin Cross, our neonatal ICU physician, as Physician of the Quarter, honoring his compassionate care for our NICU babies and the trust that he builds with our families and our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Reddy, who I know I saw here.
A lot of positivity in this room, isn't there? It's really nice. So we should do something right with all the positive things that we're hearing. So I'm going to try to continue on that theme. We talked about this at Chiefs meeting. It was hard to imagine that we just had our 1-year anniversary of our Valentine's night being ruined by our anesthesia issue. So, you know, my story was I was in a romantic dinner with my wife in South Beach, Cameron. I mean, a flashlight reviewing all the documents. Well, we got it done. And we've come out much stronger and much more improved from that event. We've also learned things too. We learned a little bit going through Epic in terms of how you do transition. Well, we have another transition coming up this Saturday night at midnight, which is our transition to Nicholas. I had quite a bit of anxiety from quite a few of the medical care providers, but I bring that up. I say, listen, we're resilient, we're adaptable, and we can handle this. And Mr. Linares he's got everything lined up exactly. I'm extremely confident that this will go as well as every other transition. So a fun fact, I'm not going to steal Mr. Strum's complete talk because I know you want to brag about this, but there's a new graduate medical education area. I was talking to Dr. Roe King, we need to sort of pick a name, some kind of dramatic name for the place. Thank you for the commissioners that showed up for the ribbon cutting. This facility is, and again, I won't take too much away from Mr. Strum, it's just mesmerizing. It's the equivalent of about 15 medium to large size condominiums with almost everything that you can imagine. And it's going to be really beneficial for us. We already attract a lot of high quality applications for residency. We really take the top of the top of the top. I mean, almost every department's getting over 1,000 applications, but walk somebody through there, a student, they're going to be a wow. That's going to add to the wow. So, you know, we got the environment, we've got the great education, the great hospital system, and then the wow factor. And I was telling Mr. Lenars this, when I grew up, we had nothing, we had no place to meet. We just, as a group, we really almost, in the hospital, never really got together. And we looked at luxuries if there's an empty gurney in the ER and you can pull the curtain. You know, now they have bunk beds and they've got showers and anyway, I know you want to brag about it, right? I know. Oh, we talked about this, by the way, I should do this whole report because I did a lot of this report last time. So. I'm going to talk about some clinical updates. So Broward General is having a fabulous year, and Ms. Lenars has reported this, it's the best year we've had in decades. Clinically, our patient scores are improving, and I say this every time I mention this, you know, for a trauma center, that's a really difficult thing to get. We have improved length of stays, which is important from patient care and financially. And I took what I call sort of deep dive into our infection rate, surgical infection rates. And I looked at what we call as class 1 and class 2 surgery infections. And our numbers are really more than impressive. Our infection rates are, my math is always off a little bit, about 75% below the national average. So when you have somebody, a friend or family member coming in for a gallbladder or knee surgery, that's a pretty comforting statistic to know that those infection rates are so low. And actually when we report on them, it's like, well, anyway, we continue to improve, and the board should be aware of that. There was a lot of other things that I was going to talk about. And Mr. Strum said I couldn't talk longer than the president did last night at the State of Union address. So I have several really good patient stories that I want to tell, but I'm going to not talk about that today because I have something that I want to mention to everybody. Broward Health put on a cardiovascular symposium, which I attended. First you might say, why is Don Morto want to go see what's going on with cardiac? But it was an incredible presentation. So I'm bringing this up here for several reasons. One is, I'm friendly with both co-chairs. So this meeting was run and presented by employee physicians, community physicians, residents, and we had physicians from Memorial. Now, I've been here longer than most people. I remember the day where you didn't even mention the word Memorial, or you could get thrown off staff, to now we're doing meetings together. We're showing respect for each other. I mean, it was really, I don't want to say an eye-opener, but it was really very pleasant that we had invited Memorial. They gave a talk. So I think that's a really, to me, a significant thing that is taking place, that we're actually talking to each other and working together. Now, for an administrative level, it's really different than boots on the ground. I mean, you guys can do whatever you want, but until the boots on the ground start working together, it doesn't really work that well. And then, lastly, there are multiple great presentations. And I would suggest that everybody, sometime read one of these presentations. And this presentation was evidence-based strategies for prevention of cardiovascular disease. And this presentation by one of our physicians was one of the best presentations that I've ever heard. And it has to do with, do you want to die from old age, or do you want to die from preventable heart disease? Sounds pretty simple, right? But we really don't think about it. What this symposium did was actually give us some really very practical, easy things to keep us out of that hospital. Sorry, Mandy, but keep us out of that hospital. And one of the I'm just about finished. One of the hot topics in medicine right now is microplastics. I've been into it, and we do know that it contributes to dementia. Well, in that meeting, there was really scientific data, just again, lifestyle, the microplastics get deposited in the arteries in the heart and contributing to coronary disease. So this, and I brought this actually, we all of us have it here. This whole thing is contributing to coronary disease, microplastics. Something to think about. Anyway, I think it probably should be published somewhere because this is one of the best presentations, easy to understand, easy lifestyle changes. And again, I brought it up for many reasons, but I realized motivated by the fact that now we're starting to actually boots on the ground get together. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I want to say that Bob, our CEO, the hospital administration, physicians and nurses continue to do an excellent job in controlling costs, growing volumes, and improving the patient experience at our healthcare points. On the operational and financial performance, our acute length of stay improved to 3.9 days in January. Everything is improving there. 9.8 improvement in budget and 10.8% compared to 2025. Our overtime hours was reduced by 41% compared to last year for effective labor management. And our growth also in hospitalization increased +7 from previous months, +217 year to date, and +178 compared to 2025. Orthopedic volume also increased 18% compared to 2025. Patient experience, we continue building a strong momentum in patient experience, driving measurable improvement in both the Leapfrog Group Hospital Safety Grade and Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services star ratings. In January, the ACA HPA's results reflect this program with a likelihood to recommend Imperial Point, and the score was 84.8%. This is, in the last 4 months, from October to January, Broward Imperial Point has led the entire district for these past 4 months about the willingness to recommend our boutique hospital. So we proudly celebrate American Heart Month and National Red Day. We appreciate our marketing department for raising awareness. And I want to congratulate also Dr. Alex Parr, General Surgeon, for completing his 2,500 robotic procedures. This milestone was commemorated on February 19 with a cake lunch and a plaque presentation. Also, Megan Pantaleos, a nurse at the 5th floor, was recognized as a Great Catch Award recipient. Megan, while reviewing one of her patients' chart, noted that a MELD score, stands for Model for End-Stage Liver Disease, was documented as critical. She questioned the result, recalculated the score, and identified a significant lower value. Upon confirmation with the transplant team, the corrected lower score was validated. Through Megan's attention to details and strong patient advocacy, she's helped, number 1, to prevent an unnecessary transfer, number 2, ease the patient's concerns, and number 3, ensure accurate clinical decision making. Also, I want to congratulate our nurse, Andrea Tonsack, who is the wound care and ostomy coordinator for the entire district. Andrea was selected as a speaker for the National Alliance of Wound Care and Ostomy Conference that's coming on September 2026. Andrea has been invited to serve as a clinical expert in a national test writing workshop, contributing to the national board examination developing in May 2026. I'm just going to thank Andrea, couldn't possible add one more thing to her plate. She has been appointed as a coordinator for the Community Engagement Committee for the Nursing Consortium of Florida. She collaborates with the healthcare leaders across the state to strengthen professional partnerships, worship, development, and community outreach initiatives. All these were running her department. No big deal, just casualty leveling, good care, providing exceptional ostomy counseling, shaping statewide nursing initiatives, and redefining what this means. So, an exceptional accomplishment by Andrea.
And representing North, I figured that was you, because I didn't see him here.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Dr. Martinez had just called. He was caught up with a patient who couldn't make it. But he's going to give his full report next month, but he did want me to mention something to you all that, so our late Dr. Rondino, who passed this past summer, so on March 3rd, 4 p.m. in our new cardiac wing, there's going to be a room dedicated to him. His wife's going to come. We're going to have a presentation. I want to thank our medical staff and MEC for contributing to this, and Don and the foundation for helping us make it happen. But in this whole process, we got a picture from him from his wife of when he was in med school, with his little skinny face and big, huge hair. It was, and I know he'd be laughing right now, knowing we were looking at it. But he had a quote on it that we were late comers to ask Matt Madison to add it to the plate and Don, so thank you. But it was from a poem called Desiderata by Max Ehrmann, things like the 1920s. But anyway, his quote in medical school was, "Keep interested in your own career. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time." Essentially means stay engaged in your own profession, see your career as something you truly own, prepare for uncertain times, and essentially is your career something no one can easily take away from you. Invest in it, stay curious, keep growing. It will sustain you through uncertainty. And it's fabulous, because that's kind of how we live. So anyhow, Dr. Martinez wanted me just to bring that to you. That's all we got.
Thank you very much. Always good to see you. Mr. Stern.
All right, Chairman, Commissioners, are we ready? All right, you heard a lot of great things from our Chiefs of Staff tonight. I think you're seeing a lot of interaction with everybody. Dr. Ruddy likes to say boots on the ground and all that good stuff. So you're also seeing a lot of construction around the building. So if you're excited about that, you should be. The buildings have been cleared. Mr. Clark is making sure those are moving on time and on budget. But soon we will be the proud owners of a new medical office building, 8-story with a parking garage. So that's going to be coming out of the ground soon. Barry Galson, I'm going to give a little teaser. He has some good news. He reported to you just last month on that, but on the CMS star ratings, he will report to you in April. So we're doing well on quality metrics. And then on Forbes, I'm going to read this. It was they put out their annual report on large companies. This was a pleasant surprise to us. But 56 health systems among Forbes' best employers ranked us in the group. So it was nice to see us recognized by Forbes as one of the larger healthcare systems, especially those at 5,000 or more. So there's stuff going on. Broward Health North introduced the Tobe Divivax. It's an assistive communicative device. The reason we're talking about this is exciting. It is a $30,000 grant from the Christopher Reeves and his wife's foundation. That's a Broward Health. It utilizes eye tracking technology to give greater independence to patients for speech and physical impairments. That's great. We're launching that here, and it's being funded through a grant. And then we have a special guest, one of our very good doctors, great doctors. I'm going to invite Dr. Pablo Rembrandt Moreno up to the podium for a moment. He's going to brag about some of the great things, but I'm going to share that for medical health, and Mandy was very excited about this. The Medical Health Center performed its first simultaneous transcatheter edge-to-edge repair of complex minimally invasive cardiac procedures. So we are very excited that you are performing these new cutting-edge procedures here, and he is getting really recognized not only here in the healthcare system, but throughout the county. So, Doctor, we'd love you to share a little about your story and about the procedure.
Well, thank you for having me. And So basically, we had a sick patient in the hospital, and she had two micron tricuspid valves were failing. Currently, usually we can do one procedure in the mitral tricuspid, but if you do both, the company pays for the tip for both of them. So you can go into the operation room and basically find the place where it's leaking and put a tip. And then what we do is we puncture the heart from the right to the left. We get into the left side. We clip one, and then we pull back into the right side, and we clip the other one. We eliminated both regurgitations at the same time, and the patient doing much better. So, with the support of my C-suite at Broward General, and physician group, and everybody, when I'm doing something out of the ordinary, I go to my CMO and say, hey, I'm gonna do this. On my back, he said, I have your back, and I go in and I do it. So it works well. We help people, and we get things done. So. I've been very blessed, and I have been here 5 months, and things are going very well.
Pretty big deal, right? 5 months.
Sound like so easy.
He only punctured the heart. Yeah. Both sides. It's
And
incredible.
he told Dr. Capote.
Yeah. And Dr. Capote said, I got your back. But these are great stories. These are the stories that the community needs to know about. And we talk about training the future doctors of tomorrow. I don't know if Dr. Roe King is here, but she is proud of the program. But having really young, wonderful physicians with this skill set and the willingness to try these things, I mean, they're building the structural heart program really well here. So, Dr. Mann, thank you for everything. He doesn't think it's a big deal. We think it's a big deal, so thank you again. Our CEO of Coral Springs wanted to top you, but she can't top you. But she does have 103 new parking spots. So for Commissioner Stamper and that campus has had tremendous growth. We've been there for a lot of ribbon cuttings over the past 12 months, and space is at a premium. Where's our chief? Oh, Dr. Pastana, we're going to be making some stuff happen. Kristen, right? So we're working on her. Her family has a beautiful piece of property right by that they really would like to donate at some point. So you will hear from Commissioner Stamper and Angel very soon. No, but really to add those additional parking spots. David, great job. You got it done in a quick time. And I know, Kristen, you were getting a lot of folks asking too. So we're really trying to enhance each of the campuses out there. And then the 9600 building that the board authorized the approval to purchase and renovate should hopefully be coming online soon. But that is right there on Samplin. It'll be all of our physicians under one roof there that are close by. So we've got that. And then where's Dr. Reddy? You stole a lot of the thunder, but I'll tell you who's the happiest person. You love it because it really is modern, it's advanced. We're told it's probably one of the nicest graduate medical education facilities in all of Florida, so we're proud of that and what it means for our students to be able to get that. Dr. Reddy and I tease, but it is going from the Stone Age to the modern age, from when he practiced, and not as an age reference, but just in the advances in science. So I don't know if Dr. Roe King is here, but she up there. She really is unbelievable. She is there. She works with the I just wanted to show a few pictures and photos. But this is her baby. She birthed it. Now, if you look at it, you know she also spent a lot of money. So Manny and I were making sure that the medical office building that goes up, she is not allowed to enter until the building is complete. So my commitment to you commissioners is we'll stay focused. But she has 365 residents training over there. So Dr. O'King, thank you. If you take a quick look up there, this is just a few of the pictures. We have all sorts of videos and everything else, but we had a great turnout. Our Board of Commissioners attended. We had a lot of members from the public, and then we had a lot of our EMS and fire rescue that were also there. And then I was just trying to think of a few of the you remember some of the other folks that were there. We had Commissioner and all our officials. We had a lot of our doctors. So that went really well. Why don't we take a quick look at the system snapshot? We are doing well. Patient served, this is always for Chair Tanner, but 663,000 to date have received care across the entire system. This is really neat. You all know Jamie works for Marcy. He's really kind of the MC of a lot of our events. He wanted to talk about more about, really Marcy's kind of been talking about leadership and retention. So how do we hire the best and brightest and keep, and how do we retain those that are here? So they were brainstorming a lot of stuff, had a great idea. And if you take a look up there, it's the employees and families attended the first ever movie night under the stars. We thought maybe there would be a gathering, right, Marcy? You'd be lucky if 15 or 20 employees actually showed up at an event like this. They had over 150 that brought their lawn chairs and blankets and food and drinks, so that went really well. But I like that because that's our Really, those are our staff, our team, and people really bonding and working together. Broward Health Physician Group total patients is at almost 200,000 to about 190,000, so it's an increase of about 5.7%. And then something that's really a lot of fun that we put on every year. I saw Eileen, but man, thanks for making this happen. But our Doc and Dine, thanks to our CEOs, COOs, CFOs, and our physicians and our chiefs for being there. It was a great event. Deb Matwani, the owner of the Wharf, generously donates really that evening to it. But it gives our young physicians, really the ones in residency and fellows, to meet with the other doctors. Dr. Roddy was sharing a really neat story about it, but these young physicians sometimes don't have an opportunity to meet all the other specialists and subspecialists, but this gives them a chance to do it. Sometimes they're talking, I think Dr. Boyer talked about calling Dr. Justice on the phone and getting a brief, and then finally getting to meet him in person, like, oh, you're the guy. And he had the British accent. They're like, oh, even better. But it's really nice that they have an opportunity to spend it, and I know that when you come, it means a lot to them. So we on top of, think about this, it's a donated event, it's a mix and mingle, and it raised over $50,000. So there's a couple of neat pictures. But if you take a look at that, that is really amazing. These are your future doctors tomorrow, and they are out and about. And I think it was Dr. Ruddy who told me he'd like to start it a little later. I think he said their shift ends at 5:30, so we'll try to push it back a tiny bit. I always love to brag about our people in service. We have so many people doing great things here. Melita was out and about once again, her third city for Broward Healthy, for Be Healthy. She had Mayor Denise Grant of the city of Lauderhill. She had County Commissioner Hazel Rogers and a lot of the other elected officials in the community that were there. But it was a great event. We had over 600 attendees. You had about 800 bags of food and groceries from, what is the name of the group? Feeding South Florida. So I mean, really doing a great job. So it's a third city, well attended, and when she makes a commitment to go into those cities, it's usually a multi-year commitment. So she'll be there for 2 years. Broward Health, you heard Dr. Ruddy did a really good job talking about what was going on at the symposium, the cardiac symposium. We've got Dr. Fernandez there, saw Jenna Katz there, but really helping shine a big light on the organization. Dr. Ruddy did my job for me. Not only was it good for our physicians to be able to be there to learn, to listen, to really cross-collaborate, but the doctors from the Memorial Healthcare System were also there. So we've had a couple of big events. Dr. Boyer actually recently participated in one where we actually hosted it here at Broward Health Medical Center's auditorium. Had about 70 clinicians from both Broward Health and the Memorial Healthcare System. So you're really seeing the two systems working together and trying to really cross-pollinate. But having a symposium like this, it goes a long way. I don't know if he is here tonight. We have a new Shro, our HR person for spring. Oh, hey, why don't you stand up real quick? All right, thank you. We got John Zabiana here. He is our newest HR chief for Broward Health Coral Springs. So Kristen said she is excited about that. Next up is the Intuitive. You've probably seen this giant truck or bus. They do it for the Intuitive Thoracic Oncology mobile experience. It's about 80,000 pound, 18-wheel. You can go in there and kind of see what's going on. So a lot of our staff and everyone had an opportunity to take a look at that. It really helps them look at the next generation robotic technology to navigate lungs and its potential, really potential for target areas on cancer. And then Dr. Boyer stepped up to the plate. A lot of us were busy, and he went out to the Broward, it's really the Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce. They had their big annual meeting, and he shared about what is Broward Health doing, what does collaboration look like, and then he talked about what's going on in pediatrics with Nicholas. So we thank Dr. Boyer for being there in role as the corporate CMO. And Kristen Bowman, we get brag about you again. She has a really great group out there, but it's Girls Giving Back, and it's really to empower young women who are in high school and to really start thinking about what do they want to be and who should they look at for mentors as are really trying to choose a career path. And Kristen really does a great job there. I was there that evening, and they were mesmerized with her story, how she got there, what she did, and she dispensed a lot of really good advice for them on really moving forward for stuff like this. So Kristen, thank you. And then we are really trying to highlight more about the important issues on healthcare. Jen and team are always working on to make sure we get the burn media. We like that the most. And this is really Dr. Stefano, a colorectal surgeon, but as we were promoting colorectal having procedures, or at least a renewed conversation in public about it. We had a really good news story here, so why don't we show this one real quick.
Again, thrust colorectal cancer in the spotlight. Vanderbeek was just 48 when he died. He was diagnosed at age 46. Joining me now is Dr. Felicia De Stefano, a surgeon with Broward Health. Doctor, thank you for joining us. Has it become more common for someone as young as Vanderbeek to be diagnosed with colorectal cancer?
And the answer is yes. Actually, the American Cancer Society just released this year that the colorectal cancer has become the #1 leading cause of cancer-related deaths in men under 50, and the second one in women under 50. So yes,
Wow.
the answer for that is a really concerning issue right now.
It certainly is. So how soon and how often should someone be screened?
So the screening time or age is still at 45, which is actually lower than it was previously at 50. And I would not be surprised that the guidelines change within the next few years or so to a lower age. And that's only for people without any high-risk factors. But if anyone has any family history of colorectal cancer on first-degree relatives, or there are other things like inflammatory bowel disease or a history of receiving radiation therapy, they should be screened earlier.
Quickly, colonoscopy is still the best way to be screened?
Correct, yes. Colonoscopy is the gold standard, although there are other options too out there for people who do not want to have a colonoscopy.
Who is more at risk of developing colon cancer?
So for that question, I would say that more than demographics, it's about our lifestyle and our genetic predisposition. So people, again, with close family members with a history might have a genetic predisposition. And also our lifestyle activities are really important. So staying healthy with exercising, avoiding processed foods, for example, and avoiding smoking and excess alcohol will be things that will actually be beneficial and decrease the chances of having colorectal cancer.
All right, but I think the big takeaway here is start getting screened earlier, because we're seeing more cases of people who are younger developing this disease. Doctor, thank you so much for your advice, and I hope certainly that people take it to heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, a nice long segment on CBS 4, which is great. I mean, that really for that, they would pick our physician to go out there and tell the story. It's great. Why don't we bring it in for a landing here on finance and growth. You're seeing a lot going on across the system, but at Broward Health Medical Center, volume is up, continuing to do well compared to budget. Emergency department outpatient visits also up year to date. Broward Health North, Garner, Madison, I think you guys are doing some great stuff over there. But this one was impressive. The Broward Health North Cath Lab completed almost 660 cardiac catheterizations in fiscal year 26. That's a 48% increase, which is big. So we're seeing a lot going on there. And then 85 cardiac ablations since the beginning of the service. So a lot of people talking about the EP program that has been launched here at Broward Health. It's really moving forward. Broward Health Coral Springs has seen 11% increase in cash CAT cases over the previous month, 3.1 million over budget. That's a record month for the fiscal year for them. And then about 7.9% increase in inpatient admission over the prior month. And then you heard some great stuff from Dr. Navarez about all the great things, bless you, at Broward Health Imperial Point. They put a lot of wins on the board. Orthopedic volume is up over 18%, and total hospitalizations up 3.5% compared to date, a little over 3% for the year. And then Broward Health Point, Melita, you continue to push your big numbers up on the screen, but over 56,000 patient visits with Broward Health Point. So if you look at all the pillars and what we're focused on, we're doing incredibly well. And I think you're Dr. Ray and some of the others, there's a lot of enthusiasm from our chiefs, our physicians, and all that's going on here at Broward Health. So this is going to be a busy year for us. We had a nice briefing the other day from David Clark, who was talking about all the ribbon cutting groundbreakings that will be coming before you. So the board has done a great job on recognizing that we need to continue to grow, and they've helped fund a lot of the projects that are coming out. So you're going to see a lot of great stuff happening in the coming year. That is my report, commissioners. Do you have anything out here?
Thank you. Items 11.1 through 11.2. The consent agenda. Don't need to read the items? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve items 11.1 through 11.2 on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on the motions? No discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Passes unanimously. Closing comments. Commissioner Stamper.
I'm going to keep it short.
happy St. Patrick's Day, and may each and every one of you find a pot of gold at the end of the ring.
Aaron, go right.
There you go. Commissioner Nicole, I know you're there, I just can't see you. Oh, she's not there. Oh, okay. Oh, that's why I can't see her. All right. Commissioner Pernicano.
Thank you. There is something going through the Florida legislature right now called HB 1047, and it's named Activities with Special Districts. And among other things, it will allow us to coordinate more closely with Memorial. And without making any political statements, without speaking for this organization, it's just one man's speech. I wanted to draw a distinction for you so that if you hear this cast, or if you're speaking to somebody that's cast as a sinister collusion, I want to draw one very important distinction. So when two private businesses collude, they usually do it because they want to increase their profits. And they take those profits and they distribute them to shareholders. So they're basically taking money from the community and giving it to a small group of shareholders. We're not for profits, which means that the community is our shareholders. So when we coordinate together, we're doing it primarily for cost savings, and those cost savings are tilled right back into the community. So you're going to hear things in the press, you're going to be speaking with people. I just wanted to get that very important distinction out there so that you're armed to speak about it if it comes up. Thank you.
Very much. Commissioner Angel.
Okay, well, I probably won't make it short because there was a lot in my life that went on in the last month. So I want to start by thanking the leaders at Broward Health North, who Madison arranged for me to tour the Lighthouse Point facility today. I'm really impressed, David, with the way it looks. I'm excited about what they're doing there. And I want to thank the BHN team for always being willing to do whatever I ask or the community asks. I want to thank Dane. I don't know if he's here or not, but over between Doc and Dine and everything else he's there, we've had the opportunity to meet a lot of our new physicians. You guys are doing some great stuff. I mean, you think that's not a big deal. I'm like over the moon impressed, okay? I saw one of your new physicians today in orthopedic. We are working diligently, and your team is working diligently to improve the employed doctors we have and to complement that team with a great lineup of community doctors. That is so important because that's how we take care of our people. So thank you and thank your team, please. I want to thank BHEP. Special thank you to Bob, Brady, Carrie, and the entire team. I had a crisis phone call one Friday night a couple weeks ago. One of my friends has a husband that had a stroke, was treated at North. The guy was always a jock, very buff, and he was on his deathbed. I reached out to Shane. He didn't answer. He's too busy. No, I'm teasing you, Shane. I called Bob, or I texted Bob. He didn't answer. I texted Brady. Brady got back to me right away, and he said, Carrie's on it. And I want you to know, they did what the gentleman had given up on his life. They did what needed to be done. He ended up transferred to a facility. His wife texted me last night. He's gained 20 pounds. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Coral Springs, number one, the medical staff dinner was fantastic. Dr. Pastana and Kristen danced the night away. However, the show was stolen, not just by the entertainment, but by our chief surgeon and his wife. They can rock. So if you're going to do anything with dancing, they need to be in the center of the floor. But these two girls really did a great job. It was wonderful. Dr. Chandran, I'm not sure if you're still here. We got Twinkle Toes out there for a little bit too. Thank you very much. I also want to thank Kristen and the team at Coral Springs for taking care of me. I had a problem when I was in Orlando. Couldn't get the care I wanted without going through emergency services. So I drove down on a Sunday and went in and went through the new CT scanner. Really impressive. Thank you very much for what we're doing with providing better comprehensive technology for our facilities. And the whole team, Lauren in emergency, the paramedic Will, who came in and took care of me, even wanted to make sure I had a warm blanket, the whole 9 yards. But the one that impressed me the most was before I got home, I had a phone call from the radiologist, Dr. Brian Oster, who said, I just want you to know that this is what came up on your image. Your doctor's already prescribed a treatment plan for you. You need to take care of it. We want to see you healthy. You don't go into the hospital on a Sunday to have a test done unless you're trying to stay out of the hospital. So I knew that you needed to know. He had already called my primary, so kudos to him. Thank you very much. Then I don't know that Lynette Fernandez is here from the marketing team, but you probably all know that I'm a Christian education person, okay? And not old people, little people, right? So she grabbed me at Dock and Dine and asked me if I'd bring some 5th graders to the Tomy truck. And I thought, I don't even know what a Tomy truck is, okay? But I called the school that I've worked with, and the principal said, well, they have to do something else. So I called Onique, who worked with Steve Travers, Eric Shore, with Manny Fernandez, with Mina, with the whole team, and they planned a day for these kids. So they started inside of the facility, they toured, they went out to the Tomy truck. Dr. Elias, I believe, is the thoracic surgeon. He presented for them. I believe Dr. Capote made him come because he said, oh, the commissioners are the ones who gave you this new robot. They had American Heritage students there from their medical department. The kids interacted, the little kids interacted with them. They got to do the sim lab in GME. They were so impressed with your residents and your team there. It was incredible. They got to go over to the ISC building, ICS building, whatever it is, and IT. I had 2 parents reach out to me over the weekend saying, my kids never thought about medical careers before, but they're talking about how impressed they were. They went into biomed, etc. But Onique Flo, Eric Shore, Manny Linares, Mina, Sydney, Steve, the entire team, thank you so much. The best thing about our team is the fact that whether they're taking care of a patient or they're looking out for little students or big students as possible medical candidates, they go above and beyond. So thank you for providing exceptional care, extraordinary compassion, and everyday excellence to our community. I appreciate all of you.
I'm not. I just want to say, first of all, I don't believe that Stacy was actually dancing at the Mardi Gras Festival. I want video of that. It's hard to follow that. And I think one thing we should always say is that it's a privilege to serve with such committed board members that dedicate this time and do this for no pay. And I just sometimes, I know it sounds self-congratulating, I don't spend the kind of time she does. And quite frankly, I just want you to thank Stacy and the others here, quite frankly, that spend so much time. Thank you for what you do. So you make up for some of us who don't spend as much time at all of those events, which I wish I could. I do want to thank Dr. Ryan Wirtz, WERNTZ, who was amazing with my mother-in-law recently. It's fun when you show up and I'm not even wearing the badge, I'm kind of leaving, and I'm all of a sudden in there and I'm experiencing for a day all of the medical facilities myself. It gives me an opportunity to see how things work, and really it worked amazing here for her, going through the issues and going through CT and everything else, and anesthesiology and everything, and spending time just being a customer sometimes is the best way to serve also as a board member and a commissioner, and it was a great experience. And many shout outs, I have many names here, but I'll come back and thank them when she's okay and she's walking again. But no, thank you. I also want to thank David Clark for continuing to drive, not just the meetings we had, but the plans and the execution of the buildings and keeping them on time, the amount of commitment we have together, our reputation in the community to deliver them not only on time, but on budget. And I did see a lot of debt service covered ratio money in there. We have some opportunity to put a little bit more growth out there, so I'd encourage us to not get afraid. We made first steps. It shouldn't be over. We should continue to grow this district. And it also bleeds into my last point, and that is I will take the political stab. I just think it's ridiculous, quite frankly, that sometimes we have dysfunction at the legislative level. This year it's very dysfunctional up there. Just is. I'm just going to say that. A lot of bills can't get through, a lot of problems up there. I'm in the education space. It's not happening in that. It's not happening almost in any area. And that will too change because those people turn over about every 2 years and new folks come in, and the future is going to be bright for this district as we continue to partner more and more with the South. Quite frankly, the whole reason there's a South and the North, if you really know, in itself has never been
Correct. It wasn't right to do it that way in the beginning. We have one county. We should have one focus, which is customer service and focusing on the taxpayers of Broward County. So I feel very strongly about this issue. I think it's absolutely a game that is being played to try to divide the residents' best interest. It's not about profit, as you said, Commissioner. It's exactly right. It's about servicing more people at a lower overhead cost and ensuring they get the best care. So I'm going to advocate for it personally. I have a right to do that as a citizen, whether I'm on this board or not, because I think the future is us serving our customers, our citizens, this county in a more cohesive way and not worrying about, who gets the credit, but delivering the best service in hospitals. So I just want to say that right up front. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Hage. And with no collusion or conspiracy, my closing comments are a similar thread to that thought. I am going to quote from for those of us, Dr. Ruddy remembers, it used to be called the Fort Lauderdale News at sunset. One was the morning paper, one was the afternoon paper. Said in 1947, the South Broward Hospital District was created by the Florida legislature to provide a funded way for hospital care for indigent patients. At the time, quote, power players from Hollywood traveled to Tallahassee to advocate for a special taxing district that would ensure healthcare access for residents regardless of their ability to pay. Interesting. That seems to be what we're doing today. And today, of the 67 counties in the state of Florida, Broward is the only one who has split its taxing districts, its healthcare districts, in two like that. So there was a reason in 1947 it was amended legislation, was amended in 1951. There are additional News Sun Sentinel articles regarding why that was done. And I invite you all to read that and learn, because that is an important experience in 2026 to deliver cost-efficient health care to everybody in Broward County, regardless of their ability to pay. And with that, the next regular scheduled board meeting of the commissioners will be held on Wednesday, March 25th, 2026 at 4 p.m. at the Broward Health Sports Medicine Center, 1601 South Andrews Ave, Suite 100, Fort Lauderdale, 33316. Without objection, this meeting will be adjourned at 5:25 p.m. Thank you.